What's going on there, guys? Good morning, good afternoon to a few out there. It's the Earth Master on this Monday after the Christmas holiday, December 26, 2022. It's about 11:32 a.m. here along the West Coast, where it's 45 and foggy. Got quite a bit of rain coming in to the West Coast here over the next 10 days, so I'm looking forward to it. Going to put me in a good mood. 3.1, the latest earthquake, North Island, New Zealand there. Looks like about 159 kilometers deep into, kind of looks like it's around the southern end of the Kermadec Trench or the northern end of the Hikurangi subduction zone. No other earthquake activity showing up here on the USGS map. A look at activity, though, over the past 24 hours shows us, not a whole lot of uptick anywhere. We did see some activity, of course, over here around the Izu Trench and the Mariana Trench yesterday. The latest earthquake, though, up along the subduction interface here at the level where it subducts, 5.1, 10 kilometers deep. That's going to be a, when did that kick off? Looks like about 4 o'clock in the morning. We have seen some deeper movement here in the past couple days. Again, I'm definitely waiting for some major uptick here along the Western Pacific. It's got to come eventually, and I think it's kind of holding off temporarily, and it has been here for a little while. So we'll keep an eye on the Western Pacific portions of the plates. Also, can't count out the area around the western area of the Philippine plate here around the East China Sea. Got to remember all this activity here from the east headed to the west puts a lot of pressure in this region. Just a quick glance of the Filipino plate shows the subduction zone area and the general westward plate movement here with, of course, you got the massive Pacific plate, the North American plate up here, all putting the squeeze, so to speak, on this area. So we'll watch that zone possibly for some larger activity soon. Over here, one earthquake this morning, about 4 o'clock, Indonesia area, 4.2. These other quakes, older movement from yesterday. Further to the west here, around the Himalayas, up into eastern Afghanistan yesterday, but one earthquake there in China. That one coming in just after midnight, 4.1. Getting some activity over here in the northern Ethiopia, it looks like, 4.6 and a 5.5. Now you definitely got a plate boundary here and a couple different fracture zones there in the general area of the Red Sea. Now, earthquake activity not super common here, but let me look at the historical data, see what we got here for movement. And, not very active, but we do see some quakes there historically since about 1900 or so. Most looks like they're around the 4 to 5 range out there in this area of the world. So again, they seen a 5.5 and a 4.6 within this area. Up here around the GNC, this one coming in late last night. I remember that in the update. 4.2 since then. Haven't really seen too much activity ramping up over there around the Mediterranean region. Looks like some smaller quakes, some 2s and whatnot. Something going on there off the coast of Morocco. This area does swarm on occasion. Again, a major plate boundary in this area, so that is very typical to see some movement throughout the Mediterranean and around Morocco area. The Atlantic Ocean, pretty quiet. South Sandwich Trench looks like, what do we got, 5.1 and a 4.8 down here. Both of those just after midnight. One of those somewhat deep there into the region, about 30 kilometers deep, followed up by some, actually it looks like we had a little bit larger quake there upstream and some deeper movement putting the strain here in this area. Might want to watch this zone pretty closely for some further activity. Now, I know pretty certain they had a recent 6-pointer in this area. Of course, last year they had an 8-pointer. So aftershocks could continue for quite some time, if you want to call them aftershocks. Well, maybe they didn't. I thought they had a 6.0. Maybe I'm forecasting it. 5.6 there in the South Sandwich Trench, the largest over the past month. But watch that area pretty closely. We could see some A little bit larger movement soon with all this recent activity. The earthquake activity over here, let me bring up the newest here. Looks like one earthquake from today into the Peru area, underneath Peru, 167 kilometers deep into the subduction zone here of the Peru-Chile Trench. 4.4. Let's see what else we got. A little activity down into the Pacific Antarctica Ridge. That one coming in this morning time period. 4.7. Not a big one. But, yeah, that's, let me see here real quick. This one's from yesterday, I believe. These 5-pointers west of Easter Island area. Got yesterday's timestamp on there. So either way, it looks like we're starting to see some stretching out of the quakes at the southern ends, southern areas around certain plates here. South Sandwich area, South Sandwich Trench, I should say. And the Atlantic Ocean, or the Atlantic Plate boundary here with the Pacific Plate. Just seeing these little odd quakes in certain regions there. So we should start to see a return of some of that deeper movement here around Fiji. It kind of looks like that kicked in late last night with that 5.5, 514 kilometers deep. But as far as that massive push that we normally see up around this area, it's normally very active here. It's taking a pause. All right, the Big Island, we got, what do we got, 27 earthquakes here. The latest one about 9 o'clock this morning, 1.9, Pahala area. Still seeing some activity up here around Kilauea Volcano with some earthquake activity in the 2 and 3 range. Now, some of that earthquake activity is down there as well. These are not adjustments at the Lava Lake area. These are happening between 1 and almost 3 kilometers below this region, so something is still going on there at Kilauea Volcano. We'll watch that closely. Around the Caribbean Plate, most of the swarming around the swarming area. That's about it. No major movement up around the Puerto Rico Trench. The latest quake shows a 2.5, just coming in within the last hour. All right, eastern portion of the country, nothing showing up here. Oklahoma got a little bit of activity out here. 2.6, 2.7. Some of that from yesterday in the Red Hills region of Oklahoma. One earthquake down here in the oil fields of Texas. 2.5 outside of Pecos, Texas here. We kind of calmed down here recently. You notice that? It really hasn't been super active in the swarming department. And I think the North American plate is, well, there's still certain areas that are under quite a bit of extreme pressure and, you know, built up strain. But I think the larger scale activity is taking a little break now as far as the major pressure goes out here along the West Coast. Because that does play a part on what's going on up against the North American craton here in the center portion of the country. Really haven't seen too much activity here in the Northern California area. A couple 2s and a couple 3s overnight. And let's see here. Not really seeing anything on the earthquake seismograph viewer for the Northern California area. That'd be Petrolia and Dinsmore, California stations. One earthquake there at Yellowstone showing up and one at Hot Caves, Hawaii. But overall pressure activity out here on the West Coast seems to be taking a little break. We did see some movement around the Ridgecrest area yesterday. A look at the 2.5 map and above shows nothing out here in the California region except for up north. And a couple of these were from yesterday. Did have some right up on the Cascadia subduction zone area. But overall, things are just a little on the minor side right now through Southern California. One earthquake down here on the Brawley seismic zone, but no major swarms, no unusual activity to note along the West Coast currently. So a little bit of a break. Doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. So we'll definitely keep an eye on certain areas. Alaska, little pause up here as well. Only 32 earthquakes. Now I only say 32 because normally we'll see a lot more than that up here. Nothing above 2.5. All this microquake activity. And I mentioned Yellowstone there. They're not showing anything up here on the map, but we have been seeing a little bit of earthquake activity over the last... Let me bring up the latest map here and see what we have. Most of that activity looks like it's happening around the Lake Yellowstone area. and it's very small. I'm not really seeing anything on these maps, though, at all. And our typical swarm area over here around Maple Creek, not a whole lot either in this area of the park. Little small microquake here, but man, that's about it. Haven't seen a swarm there at Yellowstone in a little bit. I know we had one that lasted for it almost seemed like about a month and a half or so. That was, of course, a couple months ago. So things are taking a little break here towards the end of the year so far. Hopefully I didn't jinx it, but all right, let's see what else we got here. That's about it as far as earthquake activity goes here on the USGS map. A look at some EMSC data shows some newer activity right around the Costa Rica area. Let's see, and it doesn't look like they're reporting this activity. I don't know why they leave this region out, but there is some activity showing up here. 4.1 off the coast of Mexico, and some 3s and 2s in between these areas here of the Middle America Trench south into the Costa Rica area, all showing a definitely noticeable uptick compared to the rest of the world right now. Really no other areas that are swarming, or at least seeing increasing activity here recently than this specific area right now. So we'll watch that as well. South America region, most of that activity, there's some older activity from yesterday, and some 3s and 2s, it looks like, overnight time period. Just got to remember the colored rings here, indicating older earthquake activity in the red. Medium age is going to be the lighter color rings, and then of course the newest ones are going to be in the white color rings, with the green flag indicating the most recent quake here on the globe. All right, let's check out New Zealand and the GeoNet servers here across the area. GeoNet, let's see what we got, and then we'll get to that space weather activity here in a little bit. 4.2 yesterday, North Island, New Zealand region. Looking at the all magnitudes here, looks like we've seen a couple 2s and 3s. There's that 3-pointer, 159 kilometers deep into the area. Kind of looks like it's outside of the Hikurangi subduction zone, which sits right about here. So either way, some deeper movement kicking off here in the area of North Island. Volcano drums. Let's see what we got. Any activity? Not really. Looks like some smaller quakes around the area. I'm trying to figure out and see what this is, if this is some type of interference or whatnot at this this area. I don't really see that showing up on any other seismograph stations, so that could be some outside interference, but we'll watch it and see how it goes. All right, space weather activity, solarham.net site. We did have some G1 storming conditions kick up with KP index around 5 overnight. Seen some auroras up there at the higher latitudes. That includes parts of Canada and Alaska. Seen some as well if they had clear skies. Now, this is a little bit on the older side. Current conditions, though, are fairly minimal, with the auroras returning back to stable conditions. Not seeing a whole lot up there at the upper levels right now. But we'll watch that. It still looks like forecasted here over the next couple days to be elevated around the G1 class storm area. KP index around 5, 50% chance across the board for the higher latitudes. See how that plays out. Solar flare activity, 3169 still harbors a beta gamma class field, which could pose a threat for a stronger C flare, or maybe even a lower grade M flare. Now, it doesn't look, let me look here on the map, doesn't look like it's getting any more complex in the system here. With 3169, let me show you guys. I skipped past that pretty fast. So 3169 beta gamma class in this structure. The rest of the sunspots here, well, they're not looking promising as far as any solar flare activity goes. As far as any major solar flare activity, I should say. A newer region around the bend coming up. This one here, I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Again, these sunspots have just been numerous at that and large. We've seen some large sunspots, but doesn't mean that it's going to produce any major flare. Got to have the complex systems there with the magnetic structure to create that special spark that we call a solar flare. And right now, doesn't look like it, but they got 95% chance of a C flare, 15% for an M flare. X flare, highly unlikely, but it shows elevated, around 5%. So, alrighty, I think that's about it, folks. Monday, I might do a little bit of after Christmas shopping. I know it's kind of crazy going into stores and stuff like that the day after Christmas, but I'm just going to go see what's going on, see if there's any specials going on. I like to venture out of my computer den once in a while. It's always a good thing, right, to get out and socialize. I don't know about the socializing, but oh yeah, real quick, a quick shout out to our channel members. I haven't done this in a while, so I do want to do this real quick. And I give these shout outs. I try to do it at least once a week. These are our channel members that have joined up to be a part of the channel, and they are automatically entered each month into a drawing where we give away some prizes. Our last month, or this month's winner was Albert Sanchez Jr., $40 gift card. He still wants to give it away to someone who's willing to write a short essay, 300 words minimum, on plate tectonics, their intersecting points, and how swarms can potentially help us forecast earthquakes. You got it. There's only been one person right now that has put a little bit of the essay in, but we need some more. I'm going to give it a week. One more week. If we don't hear about it, or if we don't get any essays, we will have to figure out something else. Anyway, all right. Alicia Stanford, super fan member, 5 months. Thanks for rejoining. Michelle Farmer, Tina, thanks for checking in. Some of these are newer members, so welcome to you folks. And a couple people rejoin. Christopher, thanks for checking in. Purple Bullet, rejoin. Thank you as always. Timothy, thank you very much. Rejoin as well. Laura Bonnet, Dean, thank you for checking in with a member there. Kathleen, David Roberts, April, Clayton, thank you for rejoining as well. Hurricane Heather, 3 months. Woohoo! Awesome. Thank you. Ray Stanfield, Janice, Juno James, Melanie Fisher, Kenneth Smith, Mike Moses, Joycelyn, Rosemary Hill, Catherine, Kathy, Dolores, Pamela Hamilton, Judy, Betty Kelly, getting a few on here. Nancy Kozlowski, Maria Park, John Didier, Debash Mode, Joelle Kozlowski, Mike Delaney, Catherine Decker, Pamela Conley, Ray Addington, thank you very much. Hope and Feathers, thank you as well. Robert Kozlowski, Robert Vogel, 52. Getting into some of these longtime members here. The Fly Lady, thank you. Jay Fuentes, 347, and Albert Sanchez Jr., our longest standing member, and he was actually our winner this month, far as our drawing goes. So that's pretty cool. And again, doesn't matter how long you're here on the channel. All these folks are entered into the drawing that we hold every month around the 15th to give away some prizes. I think, though, in next year, and as we go into 2023, I'm going to be doing a little bit different stuff here with the members who are longtime members, so to speak. And I haven't sorted it out yet. I want to do something better to reward these folks that have been here a little bit longer. Doesn't mean that any other folks are not going to be entered into a drawing, but I do want to do something far as like the longer that you're on the channel, the more prizes you could potentially win. But I'll figure it out soon as we head into 2023. But either way, thank you guys, all these folks right here. And quite a few of these folks have been winners since we started the drawing giveaway. Was it like 5 months ago? 6 months ago now, I think. I can't remember who all won it. I just remember this month so far, Albert Sanchez Jr. And again, next month, January 15th, we'll be doing that drawing again for all these folks that are currently members and any new members that happen to rejoin here. All right, guys, have a good day. Stay safe. I'm going to prepare for the rain. I got to show you guys this real quick. If you like weather models like I do, we're looking at some sufficient rainfall coming into the west coast with this system right here. And it's knocking on our door currently. It's supposed to hit right about, well, it's supposed to start sprinkling or showering around 6 o'clock, right about the time I'm going to barbecue, because I love a good barbecue during a good storm. That's how I am. So rainfall rate's going to be pretty awesome. The accumulated moisture, or at least the rainfall total accumulation here, let me show you, is going to be quite impressive for certain areas. That's just from the first storm. Some of these areas around Northern California are going to get 4 to 5 inches of rainfall. Here in the Sacramento Valley where I live, of course, you notice you can see that valley structure with the mountains to the west and to the east. And that is because of a rain shadow. The mountains, the elevation, the terrain provide the uplift that for convection to produce more rainfall, squeezes out those clouds. We get left with some rainfall, but then it builds up right again against the Sierra Nevada mountains. But man, I don't like it. I don't like this rain shadow. I would love to get 5 to 6 inches of rain in one storm. That would be awesome. I know I'm crazy, but I love it. But here in the Sacramento Valley, it could be anywhere from looks like an inch to maybe an inch and a half or so. But I'll take it because we need every single bit here. And that's just from the first storm. If we put this weather model with all these storm systems coming in, and they're supposed to come in at least through maybe possibly the second week of January. These are some impressive rainfall totals that some areas are getting, and not to mention the massive amount of snow that's going to be coming in up into the Sierra Nevada. So Sacramento Valley, we're looking at probably between 7-8 inches of rain after all this is said and done, up to about January 11th. That's awesome because that's going to put us up towards the average. But some of these other regions, man, holy smokes, we're talking about 12 inches, 13 inches of rainfall. Now this is a GFS total accumulated precipitation over the next, well, until January 11th right here. Look at that. I love it. There's a pretty good stream of moisture that's stretching across the Pacific, and we like these systems because it taps into all that moisture and just hits the west coast with a lot of rainfall and snow up in the mountains. Let's see what we got for total snowfall. Total snowfall. That goes to the 11th. So these are dark. These are going to be feet, right? They're probably going to be more than 48 inches. That's 4 feet, right? That's a lot of snow. But there's way more that's going to be piling up here. That's just as high as the chart goes. Some of these regions could probably see 6 or more feet. So awesome. I'm going to have to go back up to the snow, I think, after that is done. Either way, I'm a happy man. Weather makes me happy, and that's what it is. All right, 4.9 coming in right now. New Zealand area. Goodness, what's going on? Looks like that's a little bit farther up into the Kermadec Trench area, but deep as well. 317 kilometers deep. It's definitely a deep one. So we've seen that 3.1 deep, 4.9 deep. Got to watch the surface area. Now remember, over the past couple days we did see some activity South Island, New Zealand area, almost around the was another earthquake coming in? Hold on a second here. Or did they what'd they do? Got a 4.0 now, but a 4.9 as well in there. So stand by a second here while I get this going, see what we got. Back out of here. Gotta look at this. Nothing showing up here on the USGS map, so this is going to be either EMSC model, EMSC. Let's see what we got. There's one 4-pointer. Okay, so it's possible the GeoNet server is reporting that 4.9. Why am I? Okay, that's so weird. They haven't even, well, yeah, they reported it as a 5.0, 317 kilometers deep. So a little bit, I'd say a large difference in the magnitude there from EMSC to the GeoNet. But either way, yeah, activity kind of ramping up around New Zealand currently. We'll watch at the surface levels around this area. It's I don't think it's really caught up yet. You know, far as the general plate movement goes, this area should have seen at least a 6-pointer by now, considering all the 6s and 7s we've seen over the last couple weeks of this area. So heads up, New Zealand. Keep an eye out. 4.0 looks like maybe a 4.9. We'll see what how it comes out. All right, folks, have yourself a wonderful day. We'll catch you guys a little bit later. Again, I'm going to go get stuff ready outside for the rain. Make sure I don't leave anything that's of importance that would get ruined in the rain. And do a little shopping, I think. Have a good one, folks. We'll catch you guys just a little bit later tonight. Peace out.